Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another Festive Flicks edition of Wade Watches. I'm Wade, and today I'm going to be reviewing a movie that just dropped on Disney Plus, Dashing Through the Snow, directed by Tim Story and starring Chris Ludacris Bridges, Lil Ray Howery, Tiana Paris, and Oscar Nunez. And my sole motivation, honestly, for checking out this movie is the fact that it features a black Santa Claus, and by that I don't mean a black protagonist who just puts on a Santa suit to entertain kids or make a point or be cute or whatever the motivation may be. I mean a black man who is Kris Kringle himself, the real deal. And for those of you out there who have a problem with me that being my sole motivation for watching this movie, and with that out of the way, yes, and being that it was directed by Tim Story, who's not, in my opinion, one of the better black directors working in Hollywood today, given his filmography. I went into this movie slightly concerned about how the black folks in this movie would be depicted. And thankfully, no stereotypes, no over-the-top offensive humor, no cringe-worthy scenes, nothing like that. Thank God. For starters, Ludacris in this movie, he has a very respectable career as I believe he's a social worker, might be wrong with that, but he's also a present black father who cares very much for his daughter and has a strong relationship with her. And yes, he is he's divorced in this movie, but he's present in his daughter's life. And Lil Ray Howery as Santa Claus he's not stereotypical. He's not rapping or jiving or anything like that. It's a perfectly decent take on Kris Kringle. Like, of course, he's a bit ditzy and goofy and campy and makes some silly jokes, but nothing that offended me. No reason to dial the NAACP and send them after sick them on Disney. Like, no, nothing like that. And I'm thankful for that. I really am. So yeah, with all that out of the way, how's the movie itself as a movie? It's fine. It's not anything that's trying to to be as memorable as Disney's most famous Santa Claus movie, the Santa Claus with Tim Allen. Not trying to be on that same level with telling this, big story. And I actually dug that. I love the smaller scale of this movie. I like I like how it pretty much takes place within this one time period and how it's a simple story. It's a simple, let's do this. Not trying to be overly complicated, not trying to mess with anybody's heads, not trying to be as deep as It's a Wonderful Life or A Christmas Carol. No, sir. Nothing like that. And it knows that. And it knows that it's just this made for Disney Plus movie that just seeks to, warm your heart a little bit. It seeks to be that movie that you can watch that harmless little movie that you can watch with your family and kind of forget your troubles for an hour and a half. And it succeeds, in my opinion. It really does. It got like some chuckles out of me. I think I laughed hard at like maybe one thing in this movie. So it's not the funniest movie, in the world. There's nothing overly clever about the story or the way things end up. It does try to have that kind of miracle 34th Street sort of thing about like, well, is he really the Santa Claus or is he, something going on in the head? But I mean, I'm not even trying to hide. I just kind of told you. I just kind of answered that question for you. So how do you guys think the movie's going to end? And it knows that. Again, it knows that. No twists to be found. No clever revelations. Nothing like that. The message is that same message that you've seen in a lot of other Christmas movies. Open your heart, help strangers out. And as a matter of fact, Ludacris, though he's not crazy about Christmas because of something that happened in his childhood, that's how the movie opens up. And I gotta say, the way the movie opens up it's played for laughs, but that's pretty dark when you stop and thinking about it. Like if this happened in the real world, nobody would be laughing. Nobody would be laughing. But it's a kids movie. Um, so, but anyway, he, like I said, he's a social worker, so he works with people who have mental health issues. The movie, after the opening sequence, we see him called out to come and deal with somebody who's having a mental health crisis, and it's not played for laughs. It's not an over the top gag. It's actually played very seriously, and you see how effective he is at his job. So Ludacris isn't playing that typical "I hate Christmas, fuck Christmas" asshole in this movie, but he's just not. It's something very personal to him, and that happened in his childhood, that he's like, for my kid, I'll humor her, but I'm just not a big lover of Christmas. And I think that was more refreshing than let's just make him another Scrooge, a heartless Scrooge. It makes for a more complex character. It's like, well, it's your job to, help people and, assist people, and you want to do that, but you say that when this thing happens to you, you say like, oh, well, I don't know if I want to get involved in this. So there's a small conflict there. Again, nothing deep, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed how it ended up. I enjoyed that little angle. I enjoyed Lil Ray Howery's. He's cute in this movie. That's the word to describe him. Very cute take on Santa Claus. Sweats glitter and his farts smell like cinnamon. So again, nothing like nothing. Nothing on the same level of it as It's a Wonderful Life, but it's not. It's not cringy. It's not overly stupid. It's just harmless. Um, Christmas fun. And I was worried when they did the cinnamon fart joke. I'm like, please don't let there be a scene in this movie where he lets out a big fart. Nothing like that happens. So, and I'm thankful. Again, I'm thankful. So yeah, it's not trying to be the Black Tim Allen Santa Claus. It's just trying to tell this small scale, wholesome little story that you can get a kick out of. And for that, because it knows what it is and because it successfully pulls off what it's trying to be, just this little movie that dropped on a streaming service, I'm going to give Dashing Through the Snow a 7 out of 10. Going in, it was my fear that it would try and be overly campy, over the top, because sometimes Disney can really push that whimsy factor to its limit. But they don't do that here. And I'm thankful. It has somewhat of a solid soundtrack too, like some of the songs in this movie. Um, any other shortcomings I can think of? Not really. It's the same shortcomings that you would expect of like just this small kind of like made for TV Christmas movie. So I'm not gonna hold anything serious against Dashing Through the Snow. There's nothing in it that made me be like, oh, well, this is stupid. This is really, really stupid. No, absolutely not. And again, I had a fun time watching it. It charmed me a little bit. So again, 7 out of 10 for Dashing Through the Snow. This has been another Festive Flicks edition of Wade Watches, and I'll definitely be back with more holiday goodness later on down the road. In the meantime, peace.